Hi everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So I've been reading all your comments and all your questions on my YouTube videos, and this particular comment by Vaishnavi Alankar, which basically said, I'm gonna paste it here. It said that, hey, love your content, could you possibly make a Q&A vlog about how to get into Columbia University, what the whole tuition and expenditure is, accessible scholarships and employment chances, etc. So I thought, why not? I should do that. That's a very good idea. So I thought I'll just make this Q&A video where I'm just going to uh, use all your questions, basically the most commonly asked questions, and then answer those questions in this video. Now, regarding how, just in general, how to get into Columbia University, I have already made videos about the documentation process and how to go about it. But of course, you can watch that video. I'll link it down below. And to get into Columbia University, you need, it is a long process for LLM especially. You need to get your letters of recommendation, you need to get have your statement of purpose, and you need to have your transcripts from law school, from your first degree of law. So it's a huge process. I'm going to link down below the video that I've prepared. Now, the whole tuition and stay expenditure. Now, the whole tuition, like I've already stated in the previous video, for Ivy League schools, it is a little more expensive, especially depending on the city you are in. Again, I've made a video on this whole topic, but I'm going to repeat it. It with tuition and all expenses, the total expenditure is about $100,000, especially if you are doing your LLM from Columbia or NYU, somewhere in a big city. So with respect to stay and etc. So it is quite an expensive degree, so it costs a lot. And accessible scholarships, again, I've made a video on that. I'm going to put it down below. And regarding employment chances, now I'll just answer that. Employment chances are very meek, honestly. It's not impossible to get a job, but it is really difficult, and mostly due to the visa issues. Since LLM is a non-STEM degree, you only have 1 year of OPT. What that means is that you have only 1 year after graduating to work in the US. That is the OPT period, during which time you should get into the H1B lottery. That is the work visa lottery. And you only have one attempt. So it is really difficult. Since it's a lottery system, you may or you may not get picked. And if you don't get picked, you have to pack your bags in that 1 year after graduation and leave. So compared to your friends in tech, it's going to be a little harder. So that's why law firms also don't want to invest time in you, because you might just leave after 1 year. They'll train you, but then you might have to leave in 1 year because of visa issues. So getting a job is extremely difficult, but like I've already said in my previous videos, it is not impossible. Now the next question is by @Eben Julian P9977. Could you elaborate how's your LLM experience and how did you secure your admission in the college? Like I said, again, you need a strong SOP. You need letters of recommendation, at least 2 or 3 that reflect your skills. I got 1 letter of recommendation from my workplace where I used to work before coming to the US for my LLM, and 2 from my law school. You need a work recommendation letter if you have worked right after graduation. Otherwise, if you're coming right after your first degree of law, you don't, of course, you cannot have a work recommendation. You can just use your law school recommendation letters. Most law schools also need a TOEFL or IELTS score. Although there are law schools that if you give them a certificate saying that you've always studied in English medium school or college and you've all grown up speaking English in school, so then you don't need to show your TOEFL or IELTS score. So I was waived from TOEFL IELTS score from Columbia because of my background. But of course, there are still law schools that, irrespective of your past education, they require your score. So you need to really do well in TOEFL or IELTS, whichever you're preparing for. And like I said, work experience always helps. If you've not had good grades in your first degree of law in your LLB, don't worry. If you have good work experience and if your overall profile is impressive or even good enough, above average, you can secure admission in LLM quite easily, honestly. Okay, not easily, but it is not impossible. And also, like I said, authenticity matters more than perfect scores. So even if you don't have a lot of extracurriculars, co-curriculars, good scores, just work hard on your SOP. If you are authentic enough and if you have good letters of recommendation, I think it's fine. You can still get into the LLM program. Now the third question that I'm going to is by Snehu Patel 6960. In the application process, do we need 10th and 12th standard transcript? So no, US law schools don't need 10th and 12th standard transcripts. Just your law degree transcripts are required. Law degree transcripts, resume, SOP, TOEFL, IELTS, and recommendation letters. So no, you don't need your 10th and 12th transcripts, so which is great. Now number third is by Syed Fahad 898 and also by Karthik 124. Can you tell which are good universities to do LLM? Can you suggest some law schools from USA for LLM? There is a list called T14 law schools. You can go through that list, and those are the best law schools to go for LLM. And so of course the top tier ones are Columbia, NYU, Harvard, UPenn, Cornell. These are top tier schools, but there are other affordable which give good scholarships. There are other colleges like Penn State, Fordham, Minnesota, so you can try those too. And also I usually talk about East Coast law schools is because I went to an East Coast law school and I only applied to East Coast law schools. There are a lot of good law schools even on the West Coast of US, like Berkeley and UCLA. Those are, if you want to settle in West Coast, you should apply to law schools in West Coast. And also again in East Coast there's Georgetown too, which is a really good law school. And I would just add this, that if you are into tax law, NYU has like the best tax law course, and even Georgetown has a very good tax law course. In fact, the chances of you being employed are much higher if you do tax law. So if you need a job by hook or crook, and if you are interested in tax, I would recommend do tax LLM. Then what's the cost of doing LLM? Oh my god, I get these questions. I get them a lot. This is by Saurabh Sabu 6925. How much it costs to complete LLM in USA? So like I said, tuition is about $70,000 to $75,000. Then living in city like New York is $20,000. Then bar prep and insurance books, again about $5,000 to $7,000. So like I said earlier, a total is about $110,000. And of course, you can reduce your costs by maintaining a certain standard of living, that you are not going out on any trips, you are not unnecessarily eating out, you're cooking, you're buying minimum things, you're not really buying books, you're just taking photocopy. Most law schools provide free photocopy service, so you can just take a book from the library and take photocopies. So you can reduce your costs this way. And of course there are many scholarship options, like I already said. Okay, now when it comes to scholarship, now Ledisi underscore Mark has asked, please share about scholarships in the US and how available it is for international students. Again, I've made an entire video on scholarship. I'll just link it down below. I already said that. So at Columbia, there's Bhagwati Scholarship, Human Rights Fellowship. There are like a lot of scholarship options. NYU provides merit-based, Hauser, tax LLM. Then even Harvard has financial aid based on need. Then there are others like Fulbright, INLAX, Tata, JN Tata, then KC Mahindra. I'm going to put it down below in the link. So there are like a lot of scholarship options, but with respect to the external scholarships, my recommendation would be that you need to plan much in advance, because the scholarship list closes down very soon. So if you are planning to get a scholarship externally, basically like Fulbright or JN Tata, INLAX, you need to plan much in advance. I've not been asked this question specifically, but then in a lot of chats, this has been asked quite a bit. I'm going to make a different video, but I'll just put it in here. Can we work during LLM year? So you can only do on-campus jobs under your F1 visa. So you can be an RA or a TA, library assistant, and such jobs. RA and TAs, you get good pay. At least RA, when I was an RA, I was getting somewhere between, I think, $20 an hour. I don't remember exactly. Not that great, but it really helps. Any financial help, any financial gain helps during your LLM year. So you can only do on-campus jobs. Next question is by Rose Lasting. Which bar will allow us to register, being Indian law graduate and pursuing LLM? So most people take the New York bar exam after LLM. It does not matter even if you study from Chicago or anywhere else. Most people take the New York bar exam. So New York bar is allowed, and also California bar exam is allowed. In fact, for California bar exam, you don't even need to do LLM. I would recommend that you check New York website, not New York, but all the websites, the rules of all bar exams before applying. Now somebody has asked me, can I take New York bar exams is also available, right, without doing LLM from USA? The answer is no. LLM is required for Indian students. So there is a list of countries for whom LLM is not required for taking the bar exam, but I'm guessing by the name NIDS 1111 that you are an Indian. So New York, you need to take the LLM. Most Southeast Asian countries need to take need to do the LLM and then take the bar exam. There are a few countries like UK, Canada. I think they can qualify for the bar exam without it, but not India. Now the next question is by I'm just Mohediri Law I 6861. Can you take the actual bar exam first, then the NYLE and MPRE? Yes, the answer is yes. You can take the bar first, but MPRE and NYLE has to be completed before admission. So you cannot be called an attorney, you cannot be called an esquire, and you will not be admitted. You cannot take the oath before completing NYLE or MPRE. And MPRE I think is offered 3 times a year, and NYLE is offered 4 times a year, so you can take it any time. I took MPRE and NYLE before my bar exam because I just wanted to get done with it, and I wanted the taste of how these people conduct exams on like the New York bar, in the New York bar scale. So I just wanted to have that experience and know what the standard is. So I took them before I took the big bar exam, but you can do it later, it doesn't matter. Bhumika Chiru Mamilas 8669 has asked, could you suggest how you balance university work, bar prep and job search, and share your H1B journey too? Now, with respect to balancing law school work and bar prep, it's very, honestly, it was easy. I did not study for the bar at all while being in while my LLM program. Only after I graduated, I started preparing for the bar. Okay, but I of course prepared for MPRE and NYLE while still in law school. That doesn't take too long. Studying for MPRE is maybe like maximum 2-3 weeks, and that too you don't have to study 8 hours a day. You can just commit 2 to 3 hours a day for 2 weeks, and I think it's okay. You'll be fine for MPRE. And so same for NYLE. You don't have to commit 2 months studying for 8 hours. No, NYLE requires maybe like again 2 weeks of prep. So I did not really balance LLM with bar prep, but yes, balancing LLM with job search was a big thing. And while I was in LLM, I was also an RA and part of a journal, so that was stressful. But you need to make a weekly schedule, and you need to calendar everything. You know use breaks for job search. Job search is something that you have to put it in your schedule. It is like doing an assignment. You cannot do job search thinking, okay, not today, maybe tomorrow or next weekend, I'll start next month. No, as soon as you start your LLM, you need to start thinking about looking for a job. So I think what helped me was, and actually what didn't help me was, one not a great thing I did was I took a lot of credit, so that didn't give me a lot of time to search for a job. So I would recommend is that don't take a lot of credits. Take minimum credits, trust me on this, and then you can focus on job search. And you don't have to be part of the journal and do RA-ship and do all co-curriculars. No, pick one thing. Do, if you want to make some money, do be an RA or a TA, then don't be part of a journal. That is what I recommend, honestly. And then you can focus more on job search. I was too enthusiastic, so I decided to do everything, and honestly I had to suffer. I was always stressed. I could not hang out a lot with friends. I could not even make a lot of friends because of the same reason. So my idea is that you need to take minimum credits and focus on job search. And my H1B journey. Regarding my H1B journey, luckily I got picked, and it is really difficult. It's not really difficult, honestly. You don't have to do anything. It's just based on luck. So sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't. There are ways to navigate this H1B process, which I have again made a video on that. So I'll share the link below. But yes. Now, Somebody has Ashish Khatri has asked, is there any placement after doing LLM? And Mr. Tarun 8 has asked, I'm looking for paralegal jobs in US. Any suggestions? So during your LLM program, your law school will have a career fair sort of a thing in which you can participate. For Indians, there are not a lot of firms that are looking for Indians. So you might get at the max 5 interviews. That's what I got. I got 5 or 6 interviews. In fact, many people got fewer. So you cannot really depend on the placement as such on the career fair. There is no placement cell like how in India there are placement cells, placement committees. There are no such placement committees here. They conduct the career fair. You need to try your hand in that, but mostly you have to try independently. There's nobody who can help you look for a job. You have to do it on your own. Then regarding paralegal jobs in US, of course, but I don't know anybody who just aims to get a paralegal job. Most people I know who come from India and want to do paralegal job are because they've either come on dependent visa or they have not qualified for the bar exam. They've not passed the bar exam. That's why they want to do a paralegal job. Nobody really comes here to look for a paralegal job because you will not get a visa to do paralegal job. If you're coming on F1, it means that you are trying to be an attorney here and you will try to look for an attorney job. But of course, if that is your aim, that you want to be a paralegal, you can start looking for boutique firms. You don't really have to be a lawyer to be a paralegal, so you can apply. Most paralegals become paralegals by training. Just on the job you learn stuff and you become paralegals. Recently they have started a few certification courses also on becoming a paralegal, so you can check those out. Now next question is by once again How's by Kartika Elan 231. Can you share how you found your job and how Indians usually get jobs? So I did everything that one can do. I used LinkedIn, Alumni Connects, cold emailing, every thing. I used to apply. I applied a lot. I must have applied at least at 100 places, I'm not sure, actually even more than that, but what worked for me was cold emailing. I got a lot of response by cold emailing, and that's how I got a bunch of interviews. So the job I'm working at currently, I got it through cold emailing. So that's all for today. There are a lot more questions, but this video has become really long. So if you found this helpful, please give it a thumbs up and like, share and subscribe, and share it with your friends applying for LLM. Drop more questions below. I'll make a part 2 of this video because I can see there are a lot more questions that I haven't answered, but this video has already crossed 20 minutes. Thank you so much for watching, and once again, don't forget to like, share and subscribe.